Next, I've taken my wax flower, and this is what the wax flower looks like, the stem of it. But I've already cut it up into little tiny pieces, because again, that makes it just go that much faster. And I've got pieces that are just the greenery, and I've got pieces that have some of the actual flowers on them. And I'm using both, because right now what I'm trying to do is hide all that space where you can see floral foam. And I just work, I can see from the top of this, so I look down at it and I can see all the different places where I need to fill in, which you may not be able to see in the video, but if you were standing here like I am, you would see. So I'm just going to keep adding until I essentially don't see any more floral foam. This is called greening it, by the way. And even though I'm using the wax flower, which is technically a filler, it's still accomplishing the same thing. These would be lovely if you were doing a little country-themed wedding. You could even do these in your own home. But again, a country theme or Victorian theme is perfect for this little scenario. And you could buy buckets that were a little bit bigger if you wanted something bigger. In this case, the little tables that they're going on are only tabletops for 4 people, so that's a pretty small table compared to what you would typically have at a reception, which is typically 8 to 10 people per table. So these would look pretty small on a table that 8 to 10 people could sit at. You want to always keep that information in mind when you're planning your design. To extend the size of this, you could put little votives around them. In fact, if you were to do that, I would say cover the votives with a little bit of the pearl strands and maybe even some of the little pink hearts, or maybe use some pink ribbon and tie that around the votives. That would be cute, just to kind of keep in the theme of what this is supposed to be. Okay, that is looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add my flowers and my feathers, and then I'll go back and see if I can still see any spots where I need to add in some more filler. Okay, I'm going to next add my flowers, and I'm using spray roses. So a stem of spray roses has essentially baby roses on one stem, but in multiple places. I don't know how else to best describe that. And again, to make this go fast, I'm just cutting these things off. Then I'm going to go back and clean them up. So you always need to remove the guard petals from your roses. I don't know if you can see how crummy that is. You want to take those off. Any kind of bruising, any kind of marks in the flowers, just peel off the petals. And as you're placing them, normally you do flowers in odd numbers. I am deviating, and I'm using 6 because I just thought that it looked better in this particular instance. And I always design for a look. That's what's most important to me. So essentially I'm doing 3 roses on each side at alternating places, alternating heights. You don't ever want them to be all lined up. That would not be a good look. And I'm looking for the fuller flowers and trying to make them more of the focal point. So kind of tuck deep down low. And then just rounded it out. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to add my feathers. I don't like that piece hanging, so I'm going to cut that off. And I'm just putting the feathers in 3 different places. Okay, that looks pretty good. I do still see just a little bit of the floral foam, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little more filler here. And like I said, I like to, this makes it go faster. It's kind of like doing an assembly line. when you cut all your flowers up in the beginning, then you can just grab and go fast. You also want to make sure that you've evenly distributed things. So you don't want to have all of your, for example, scented geranium in one spot and then your filler in another spot. I mean, you can. That is a design style. It's called massing, but that's not the look that we're going for here. So we want to make sure that this is nice and evenly distributed. All right. These are too cute. Very, very, very Victorian country looking. Okay, what do you think? You can do this.